Hello and welcome to my recovery activity video. I saw a lot of videos of the podcast and I couldn't choose on a specific one. So I'm going to talk about death and if it exists and where do we are supposed to go when we die. I think that isn't like the end of everything. I mean, humans are matter, are energy, and energy is never eliminated. Energy is only transformed into something new. Even though I don't believe there is a heaven or hell where we go when we die, I think there is something else, because when we die, I mean our physical bodies decompose and get into the soil and we are eaten by worms and animals, and the only thing that's left are our bones. But in some way our bodies are, I mean, if you are buried, our bodies are decomposed by animals, by worms and other insects. So we became food of those animals. And it's like cycle. Death isn't the end of all. It's the end of life as we know life, because we cannot speak or move or think before death because all our organs stop functioning. But we are functional in some way because we became food for other animals, and now it's like if our energy was transposed to other living beings, and it's like the cycle of life. It never ends. Even with death, it never ends, only transform into something else. Now with all the Christians talking about hell and heaven, I mean, I don't know. I have never been there, so I don't know if something like that exists. I don't believe that some supreme being create all of this, because we have some science that proves something that isn't like because of God. It's like, no, it's because of evolution. But I think if something sort of alike exists, isn't like the sky that we know. It's like you go to heaven and you imagine like a sky, and like, isn't this sky, is other things. But I ask myself, how does other humans created like this image of heaven and hell if they have never been dead? I mean, if some dead being try to communicate with us and tells us about the experience of death, I will be like, okay, you have been dead, so you know what you're talking about. But all the people that talk about hell and heaven, all the Christians, Catholics, people saying that hell is a sort of punishment and heaven is a sort of reward because you behave good. No, it's a fully man's creation, that concept of hell and heaven. But when we die, it's not the end, because we transform our energy into food or into ashes that go somewhere else. But the particles never stops really existing if you think about that. We never disappear completely, but we stop life as we know life. So that's my opinion about death and hell and heaven and all the complicated creations of men to, how do you say, justificar. It's like, I don't know what so happens when we die, so I'm going to invent that we go to a beautiful sky or a very bad place if you behave bad, so you need to behave well. It's a fully man's concept. I don't know if it's real or not, but I don't think so. But when we die, it's not the end, because we continue existing somehow. And yes,